purchase your first home, it can be daunting and it can be a challenge and it can be frustrating. I get it. But one of the biggest pieces of the puzzle is the financing piece of this. So how do you find a lender? Who do you use? A bank, a broker, one of those online systems? That's what we're going to discuss today. So my name is Dan Frio. I do the rate update every day. I am a mortgage advisor serving the entire country. So if you're out there in need of a mortgage, please reach out to me and my team. I'd love to show you our data at the end of this video. But I wonder if I could offer you the security and the comfort of a bank and the reach, because most of them are federally chartered, but also have all the options of what brokers provide you. I'm going to show you how to do that at the end of the video. So the first thing we want to discuss is, why would you consider a bank? Well, a lot of people just like the security of a bank. Most of them are state or federally chartered. They can do the whole country and they're just comfortable because they know they're governed and there's a bunch of laws in place for the bank. However, there are some detriments with the bank's process or the bank's structure. One, they don't specialize in mortgages. Most banks have checking, savings, car loans, credit cards, home equity loans, business loans, and the list goes on and on and on. So they don't specialize in mortgages, okay? So their product base is usually kind of limited, not as broad as a broker, and usually their rates aren't as competitive because they're competing against other companies that purely just do mortgages. So the next piece of this puzzle is, why would you choose a broker? Great question. A broker has a slew of products they can offer you. So what you do is you contact a broker, they then pull your credit, do their stuff, and then they reach out to mortgage companies all over the country to try to reach out and get you the lowest rate at the lowest cost structure. Okay. One of the biggest detriments of the broker is, how big is that brokerage? If they're small, they might only have a couple lenders, meaning they don't have a lot of options. The next piece is, where they license. Most lenders or most brokers are in 1, 2, maybe 3 states, where the banks are in all 50. Okay, so, but what the mortgage broker does is they provide you a one-on-one consultation, and all they do are mortgages on a daily basis. So they should specialize in what they do. So that's the difference between the bank and the broker. Now, the other piece of this puzzle is the online systems, and they kind of drive me nuts, because here's what you do. You basically just go on there, and there's all these teaser things that, get the best rate in the world, and this and that and this and that. You plug in your data. What happens is that company then sells your data to probably 6 to 10 different companies. Okay, at that point, you're just going to get inundated with phone calls, and everybody's going to promise you the world, but they're going to need all your information. So it's going to be multiple applications, multiple credit pools, and everybody's just going to say they're better than the next. So how do you really choose? Well, let's break it down. So now that you know the difference, how do you really know who you're working with? The number one thing I would say is just Google that company or Google that mortgage advisor. See what's out there. Check their reviews, check their data, check their status. Do they have any complaints in the BBB? What's going on there? Check the reviews. But you also got to consider, how many times have you had a great meal somewhere and you didn't really post on any social media that the meal was probably the best ever? However, if you had a bad experience, you're probably just going to go there and try to vent on what happened to you in that occasion. So please take some of that with a grain of salt, but you have to do your due diligence. Okay, so that's one of the main things I would say in regards to reviews. A lot of the realtors, they're established with a lender. Lender could be good or bad, but it comes down to you guys. Check and do your due diligence. Okay, that's the best part I can tell you there. Okay, so now, what questions should you be asking the lender? So now the next thing is, call and talk to the mortgage advisor. Here's what I need you to ask them. What programs do you provide? So if they come back and say, well, we have conventional programs, might not be the fit for you. You might need FHA. You might be seeking USDA. You might even be a veteran, God bless you, looking for a VA loan. Do they offer all these products? There's a new product in town that's called non-QM. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you, it's saving a lot of people when it comes to the refinancing and purchasing of homes. So do they offer all of those programs? The next thing I want you to ask them, and they're going to be thrown, this is going to basically throw them a curveball. Do you have any overlays? Okay, so let me explain briefly what an overlay is. For example, FHA will do a mortgage on a client that has a 500 credit score. I challenge you to call every lender you can find in Google and call them up and ask them, if I have a 500 credit score, could you help me obtain a mortgage? Probably going to go out on a limb here and say 90 out of the 100 people you call will say no. Okay, that's an overlay because FHA doesn't have well, let me rephrase this. FHA has a minimum credit score of 500 and you still can get a loan. Okay, but that bank, what that bank did is they placed an overlay on top of the FHA guidelines restricting that loan product. Okay, so you have to be careful on who you deal with to make sure that they have your program. The next piece of the puzzle you want to ask is, how fast is your turn times? Now, this could vary all over the place, and it's really tough because mostly everybody's going to say, well, we need 30 days. But that can also be delayed on things that just are out of yours and our control. For example, the appraisal. Some appraisals take longer. Some are quick, some take longer. So those are things that they can't do. But most people are going to tell you 30 days. If you start hearing in excess of 30 days, please be cautious. The main thing I want you to do is ask them to send you a fee breakdown. We call it a loan estimate. I'm going to go over the loan estimate here in a second to explain to you that's the one piece of the puzzle. That's the one document that I want you to review. And if you have one right now, I'd love for you to send it to me so I can review it for you. My information will be at the end of this video. I'll come back to you and say, okay, what you got is fantastic, or what you have, we can get you a better rate, lower fees, and be able to service you much better than what you have. So that's that part of it. And then the last thing is, what happens if rates go down or grow down substantially? Once I lock in, aren't I locked in? And I want to know what they said. Okay? So those are the questions that I need you to ask them. So now let's talk about during this conversation, right? What's your gut telling you? Is it something that you feel good about? Or is it something that's, I got some concerns here. Why? Were they able to answer your questions precisely? Did they get back to you in a timely basis? Will they offer you that fee breakdown or that loan estimate? Or are they trying to put it back and just wait till the last minute until you choose them and then throw something at you? Those are the main things I want you to be concerned with. But it always comes down to, what is your gut telling you? And most likely that's going to tell you the right thing. So now let's get into the one document I really need you to look into, make sure you're getting what they're promising you. And that document is right here. This is called the loan estimate. This is really what I need you to get from any other lender. And if you have them, please send them to me so we can review it. Let's go down and explain what a loan estimate is. So this is a blank one that I just pulled off of the Fannie Mae's website. And it goes through a whole bunch of data here. And this is pretty self-explanatory. The date issued, the applicant's property address, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Over here is pretty important. It's going to tell you the loan term. Is it a 30-year, a 15-year, a 20-year? What's the purpose? Are you looking to refinance? Are you looking to buy? What kind of product is it? Is it conventional, FHA, USDA, VA, non-QM, QM, whatever? So that's in this area here. It's also going to be checked on what program type you're in. It's going to give you your loan ID, so your loan number, and it's going to tell you if your rate is locked or not. So many times people will send this to me and say, hey, I got this rate, and it's not locked. So then we go down through this segment here. It gives you the loan amount, the interest rates, and breaks down everything. So this is all, okay, this is basically standard. Here's right where I want you to go to. Page 2 of the loan estimate. In this category right here, this is what the origination charges are going to be. This is the primary focus that I want you to focus in on. This is right here, okay? What's going to go in this area is any lender fees. So what you're going to see here is how many points you're paying. Are you paying an origination fee? What's the processing fee? This is going to be, I'll reference it as all the lender fees. Okay, this is what we want to look at, because many times I'll get a loan estimate and on page 1, we'll review it. It's like, hey, they're getting a pretty darn good rate. And I had one just the other day that I looked at, and I'll give you that in here in a second. I'll put that in context here. They were getting a fantastic rate. It was right, it was below market just a little bit. And I'm like, hey, that's a pretty darn good rate. Then I scrolled over to this section here and noticed that the client was paying approximately $18,000 in fees. Okay, so that's why this cell right here is very important to you. Okay, so no matter what they told you, what they promised you, this is the document that's actually going to validate all of that information. All the other information here is pretty much standard. Services you cannot shop for. And in here is going to be your credit report. You have to get a credit report. In most cases, you need an appraisal. That'll be in there. And some other things. Those are things that we do on your behalf. The next piece of the puzzle is right down through here. This is usually the title, the attorney, the escrow company, and other things that you can truly shop for. But if I said to you, go ahead and pick your title company, you probably wouldn't know what I meant, or your escrow company. So we usually do this on your behalf, but you do have the privilege of shopping this for yourself. This will give you the totals. We go over the top here. This is going to be recording fees at the county, the state, wherever your recording fees are. Those are going to be, no matter who you use, they're going to be the same. Prepaid should be the same thing. How many days of interest are you going to have to pay on this loan until your next payment's due, and so forth. So all these should be basically the exact same number that you would get from any other lender if they gave you the same loan amount and the same interest rate. So now you might be as confused as you were before you started this video. We'll stop there. Wonder if I can offer you the security, the reach of a federally chartered bank, meaning that they could service the whole country, but have the security of a bank, but have all the options of a broker where they're able to shop your loan to over 100 different lenders. Well, the Frio team. I just partnered with Allied First Bank. We will be in their mortgage operations, with clients all over the country. If you're out there, you're confused, you need help with your mortgage, please reach out to us. We would love to help. If you're anywhere in the entire country, we can help you at this point. So, hope you found value in the channel. If you did, all I ask you to do is give us a thumbs up, subscribe down below, hit the bell every time I post a video, you get an alert. How do you reach out or find out more about me and my team? First thing is, like I said before, Google Dan Frio. My name is Dan Frio. Again, I do the rate update every day. Just Google me, and you're going to find out slews of information about me. I've been doing this for 33 years. Love what I do. And we've had so many people throughout the country requesting assistance in states that I just wasn't licensed in. So I sought out a bank to see, is there out there that can do both bank and broker? Found it. Hopefully we can be your choice when it comes to your mortgage needs now or in the future.